So in this video is going to be about merch by Amazon. I've been on the platform for several months now, and I thought it'd just be a good time to reflect on my experience at this point and go over some of the mistakes that I've made, or some of the mistakes that I felt that I made throughout the past couple months. And yeah, I just want to go over them, and hopefully this can prevent some new sellers from making the same exact mistakes. So I made a list here. I have 7 things that I want to go over, and the first one is going to be pricing. Now, when I first started, I listened to a lot of resellers or a lot of merch sellers giving the advice of pricing your shirts low. That can go like $12.99 or $12.91. I think is the absolute lowest that you can go. And if you price your shirts at either of those prices, you'll get about 9 cents back or less. So that is one thing that I did when I first started. And one thing that I noticed is that it's just not worth it, because you're putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy into these designs and uploading them and finding the right keywords, that it just doesn't make any sense to get 9 cents back per sale. One thing that I wish I would have done when I first started was price my shirts at least $14.99. I feel like that's a good trigger point or a good trigger price for people to still buy. It's still kind of impulsy in a way. Like I said in my other videos before, if someone wants to buy a shirt, they're gonna buy it if they really resonate with it or they're really interested in the design. They're gonna buy it. Yes, I mean, at the same time, lowering your price can help trigger that buyer or make that buyer, purchase it faster, I guess. But it's better to price at like $15, like I said, as opposed to $12, because that buyer may think that this shirt is going to be of low quality, or whatever the case may be. It's all about perception is what I'm trying to say. So that is just one mistake that I made. For the first about 2.5 months, I was pricing all of my shirts pretty low, and my royalty payments were extremely low as a result of that. I think my first royalty payment was about 67 cents. And yeah, you're putting in a lot of work and you're just getting 67 cents back for a whole entire month. It's not worth it. Now, let me actually say that all of these mistakes that I made are totally my opinion. So you might hear some other people say that, price your shirts low so you can rank up your shirts. This is just my opinion. I feel like you don't need to price it so low. There's a ton of shirts on Amazon. People are going to buy what they want to buy, So that's just the first mistake. Like I said, it's totally my opinion. You can, go off of your opinion or go off any other advice that you get from other people. It's totally up to you. This is just coming from me, from my experience. The second thing on the list is hiring a designer way too fast. Now, I wouldn't say this is a mistake that I made, but I did learn from it. Once I started taking merch by Amazon serious, I was on tier 10, well, pretty much just starting really, and I decided to hire a designer. Now, it was good in the sense that, I was able to focus on other things in my business. Like I started focusing more on eBay. I started working out more at the gym, exercising, and, my designer would design shirts or graphics for me, send them over to me, and then I would just upload it, and that was it, which is great. But it doesn't make sense to do that immediately right off the bat, because you're paying this person, and when you first start, you can have a limited amount of designs up for your Amazon business. So when you first start, you can only have 10 designs, and then they'll bump you up to 25, so you can only have 25 designs. But just because you have 25 designs does not mean that you're going to be making a lot of money. And I was paying my designer about $120 a month. So like I said earlier, I was pricing my shirts low, and I was making 60 something cents back, and then I was paying my designer $120 a month. So that's why I say I would suggest, or I would recommend, not hiring a designer right off the bat like I did. You might want to grow your business up to tier 500 maybe, so you can have more designs up, and you could start making more money, and then venture out into hiring a designer. Just try to make designs yourself before venturing out into hiring someone. I know it could be kind of difficult because, like I said, when I hired my designer, I had a lot of time to do other things. If I didn't have the designer, I would have been sitting down and cranking out all these designs plus uploading. So I mean, it's really up to you and your own financial situation. But at the same time, I would suggest not hiring a designer because you're just paying more money out and not getting enough money in when you first start. So my recommendation is to tier up, hire, or at least to a point where you can afford a designer, then really consider getting one. Having a designer is great. I mean, I love having a designer. It's extremely helpful, extremely beneficial, but don't go out and get one just because you see other people getting one and you think it's just going to be, a huge miracle. There's still work you have to put in. So that's just the second mistake. The third mistake is following trends. Now, this one is a little bit tricky. Following trends itself is a little bit tricky, in my opinion, because, for example, in my business, I really went towards like the Mother's Day trends, the St. Patrick's Day trend, Father's Day trend, and out of those three trends, like I said, I just kind of started my business. Out of those three, I only was lucky enough to get one design kind of taking off. So I probably uploaded about, I'm just gonna say 10 to 15 designs per trend, and only one of those shirts, took off, and that was actually for Mother's Day. Um, and I'm saying that because I could have focused more time and more energy on evergreen niches, pretty much shirts that sell year round, as opposed to just focusing on trends. People that do good on trends, they usually have more experience, and they probably have uploaded a ton of designs for that, trend, basically. I think it's better to really find a balance, of course, but when you're first starting, I think it's best to really find your evergreen niche and start uploading a lot of designs to that niche, and don't really focus on trends initially. As you tier up and you have more room to play with as far as uploading more designs, then I would say upload designs to certain trends. That's just me. I I didn't have much success with following trends, and that's just my suggestion to any new seller on Merch by Amazon. So the next mistake that I feel like I made was just uploading, like one or two designs to a certain niche. Now, when I kind of first started, I was researching different trends to get into or different niches to get into, and I thought, hey, this is interesting. I can upload a shirt to that, and then I'll jump to something else and upload another shirt to that, to a point where I was kind of getting in, I think, 15 to 16 different niches, but I only had about one or two shirts per niche. Now, going back to what I said earlier about uh, following trends, I had about 10 to 15 designs per trend, but I only had one shirt take off. That just goes to show that you can't just have one or two shirts in a certain niche and expect it to take off. You're gonna have to keep uploading a numerous amount of designs per niche, and you just have to find that hitter. You don't know what shirt is gonna be good. You really don't know, but you just have to keep uploading designs to that one niche, and then you just never know. Something might take off, something may not, but it doesn't make much sense to just upload one or two designs per niche. Upload 15 or 20 or 30. Just really attack it, make it yours, understand it inside and out, and just keep uploading more to one niche. And then once you feel like you have a good grasp of it and you're making consistent sales, then you could probably switch on over to another niche, and same thing, same strategy, upload a lot of designs to that niche. So that is another mistake. The next mistake, this is going to be number 5, is not checking for copyright. Now, I was lucky enough to not have any mistakes with that at this point, but I'm sure it is a common issue for new sellers. When you upload a design that is trademarked, then your shirt's going to get rejected. So you don't want to have that happen. You don't want to have too many rejections because your account may get suspended or permanently terminated. You want to avoid that. So every single time you have any type of text on your shirt or even in your description or in your title, check it. And you can definitely check it in tmhunt.com, or you can go to the United States Trademark Patent I'm not sure what the whole website is, but you can go to TM Hunt, TMHUNT, I think that's .com, and you can just type in whatever word you're going to use for your design. If you have a funny feeling about it being, copyright or trademark, definitely go to some type of research website to check it out beforehand, because once you upload it to Amazon, they're going to reject it if it is trademarked. So that's just another one. The sixth mistake is not doing enough research, which is pretty much the same as going to the trademark, but also researching the niche that you want to get into. Just not doing enough research in general. That goes for trademarks and the niche. So what I mean by that is, if you're attacking a niche, like say a trend, like a Mother's Day or a Father's Day, you have to really gauge the amount of competition. Is it too competitive? Is there actually demand? You really have to research the niche to see if you can actually get into it. I had a video with Ben a couple weeks ago, and I was just talking about how when you go research a niche, you want to look at the first about, I don't know, 10, I don't know, like 8 or 10 designs, or 8 or 10 shirts, and see if their BSR rank, which is the bestsellers rank. You want to see if it's 1 million or under, and also you want to see if the prices are too high, and also you want to see if there are too many results. So for example, say you want to make a pumpkin shirt, you want to go to a website called Merch Informer, and then just go to the research part of it, type in pumpkin, and then once you search for the t-shirts, it's going to have all the pumpkin shirts. And like I said, you want to see how many results there are. Say there's, let's just say, 100,000 results for pumpkin shirts. That is a very competitive niche, and you probably don't want to get into that. I think a good range is to get in maybe around 10,000 or 50,000, somewhere around there. That can be a good starting point for you. If the amount of results are about, I don't know, 100, 200, there's probably not much demand for that. And like I said, you also want to look at the BSR rank, 1 million or under. And you can also go to websites such as Jungle Scout and look at the Jungle Scout estimator. Type in the BSR for clothing, and it will show you an estimated amount of sales that are made per month for that one shirt. So really research your niche before you get into it. That's just another suggestion. And the last suggestion is, of course, it goes without saying, not being consistent. Now, I've made this mistake numerous times, not just with Merch by Amazon, but with my other businesses as well. eBay, I can upload for, let's just say, like a month or two, just very consistent, and then I'll drop off for like a couple weeks, and then slow sales will be a result of that. Same thing with Merch by Amazon. You don't want to get to a point where you're not uploading consistently. Even if you just get 1 design up or 2 designs up per day, do it, because your business will show if you are being consistent with it or not. So yeah, just upload as much as you can, upload consistently, and yeah, and then you can see the results from it. So that's going to be it for this video. Just 7 mistakes that I've made for my Merch by Amazon journey thus far. If you have any questions about Merch by Amazon, go ahead and leave any comment or questions in the comment section below. And I'm going to leave my email in the description box below. Go ahead and email me if you would like. I'm also going to link my Instagram as well. Follow me. And yeah, so thank you for watching this video.